Yo, what's going on, guys? It's your boy Aaron2420, bring you guys another tutorial video on this channel because they do well and I need views. We're bringing you guys today the land play tutorial for anyone who's trying to get past this ridiculous 20-minute timer, because as my great pal who I'm joining with today under the radar can attest, it sucks.
It does suck, and this method is so much nicer.
Yeah, it's a pretty easy method. Not for the faint of heart, but it is pretty easy nonetheless. As long as you and whoever you're battling both do this method, it's pretty easy. And eventually, while you might not be able to find everyone right away who knows instantly how to do this, as time goes on, hopefully this tutorial gets passed around more, like a girl at a strip club, and then we can get on and make sure that everyone knows what to do. So, without further ado, let's get started. So, on the Switch side of things, we're going to start off with what you need to do in your internet settings. Basically, if you guys are using the wired connection, you need to edit that. That means your Switch is using Ethernet. Otherwise, you go to your actual connection itself. Kelly and I believe, both use wired. Correct me if I'm wrong.
I actually use Wi-Fi for my Switch.
Oh, okay, well, perfect. So you'll see Kelly's connection itself. You'll see for me, it just is wired connection.
Yep.
And yeah, Kelly, do you want to cover this to start?
Yeah, so real quick, as you can see, you want to ensure that if you are using Wi-Fi, the internet that you are connecting to is the same one that your computer, whether it's a laptop, a desktop, whatever, make sure it is the exact same network that you're connected to. Otherwise, it's never going to work. So for me, my laptop is connected to Stout Home Extreme, which is the router that's 5 feet away from me. And my Switch, I want to make sure that I'm connected to this. So whenever I click on it, so I have the settings already all set up, so it's going to connect because I have everything else open. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to go to change settings, and then you're going to want to go down here to the IP address settings. If you guys are using your Switch normally, you're connecting online, you're connecting to BattleSpot, you're doing whatever you want to on your Switch, you're going to be on Automatthic. If you're trying to do this method to play a longer timer, you're going to want to switch it to manual, and then you're going to want to go down and you're going to want to copy these settings that I have for the IP address, the subnet mask, the gateway, the primary DNS, and the secondary DNS. If you copy these down, you will be able to connect to the LAN play servers. Now, the only one that really has any sort of variation is the IP address. The first 6 digits, so 010.013, have to be the same. The last 6, they can be a plethora of different numbers, and I'll let you explain this because I don't really understand I don't really know how to explain it the best, but these are the numbers that I use and they work. I know that 121 works. You can go ahead and explain that if you want to, Aaron.
So I actually just opened up the tab for everyone to see for themselves, but for the IP address, it can be anything from 10.13.0.1 to 10.13.255.254, except for the 10.13.37.1. This being because it's the same as your gateway, you can't have that match. The only thing that you can't have is the same IP address as your friend, and this one that again I just highlighted right here. If it is anything else, like let's say it's 10.13.92.94, that'll work. 10.13.255.1, that'll work. So just make sure it's different from your friend and not 10.13.37.1, and you'll be fine. Everything else, 255, 255.00, 10.13.37.1, etc., etc., those all are the same for everyone doing this.
And as Aaron said, just to clarify, you have to have a different number for the last 6 than your opponent. Otherwise, if it's the same, the website and the programs that you're using, they're going to think that it's 2 switches with the exact same IP address trying to connect, and it will not connect you to each other. So make sure that they're different from your opponents. Big step.
So once you've set up all this stuff on your Switch, you're going to quite literally just hit the save option, and you are now ready on your Switch end. There are a couple things you have to install on your computer real quick, but these are pretty easy steps, and we'll get into those in a moment. So first off, you're going to download 2 files that will have both linked in the description. Move those actually over to my other monitor tab right now, which are the lan-play-win64.exe and the winpcap 4_4_1_3.exe. And basically what these files do, the lan-play one is how you actually connect to the LAN play servers, and the winpcap is what enables you to actually do the connection. So we're going to click on this, and you're going to hit run the installer when it asks you to. And for me, because I already have it installed, it's asking me to reinstall it. I'm going to press OK anyway, just to show you guys what comes up, which is this Windows screen. And you quite literally just hit next. It's just asking if you agree to stuff, and then if you want to start it at boot time, basically when you run your computer to start up to begin with. And then you hit install. For me, it's going to say it failed because of the fact that I already have this, but you guys, it should work 100%. So I'm just going to hit ignore, and then you'll hit finish, and bam, you're all set on that end. Now, the last thing you have to do before going in-game is you're going to type in the search bar, which is this little icon right here, the letter CMD, and right-click on command prompt, run as administrator, and I'm going to leave a command in the description below. But basically, what you do with this command is you quite literally just copy, paste, and press enter. The command itself is sc config npf start equals demand, and you press enter, and it should say success. If it's a success, you're good. Otherwise, I'm not sure. I've never had someone fail with it before. So now Kelly is going to go into the LAN play servers aspect.
So also, real quick, I do want to cover with the administrator. Once you do that one time, once you type in that command that Aaron will copy and paste, that will have the thing in the description that you're just going to copy and paste, I will also have that. Once you do that one time, you're good. You never have to do it again. So this whole process of putting in commands, don't worry, it is a one-time deal. Once you do it, you are fine.
Yes, along with also, if you change the numbers on your Switch and go back to Automatthic to do stuff like trades, if you set it back to manual, those numbers will also save every time. I don't know if you guys saw that on my screen, but I showed that in the video already. They will save every time. So just so you guys are aware of that as well.
Yep. So a lot of this is only one time. This is where it gets to, you have to like repeat processes every single time. So this website that I have right up here, lan-play.com, this is going to be where you're going to actually get your server. So whenever you are connected with your opponent, whenever you're messaging them, you guys want to make sure that you're copying the same server. So for Aaron and I, and what I've done every single time I've done this, I have just copied this first one that says northlanplay.ddns. You literally just click copy, and then you're going to go into the LAN play win64 window, and you're going to hit paste right there and hit enter. You're going to see a bunch. You'll see a bunch of. You'll see a bunch of messages. The one you want to look for, it's usually around third from the bottom, but sometimes, as you'll see here, a bunch of debug commands will pop up. It's 2 lines above your server IP, and it says pcap loop start. If you see that message, you are set. It doesn't matter what other messages pop up afterwards. You can see a billion messages pop up afterwards, but if you see that pcap loop start, you are good. That is all you need to see. Yep. That start. The pcap loop start, that means that your LAN play switch has now connected to the server and you're set. So what we're going to do is we're going to go back over to the Elgato, and as you're going to see, because we have gone ahead and you can see on my screen that I have pcap loop start, this will mean that I'm now able to actually connect to the internet with my switch. So if you see, I will click connect to this network. It'll go to the network device and it'll automatically connect to the internet. So this means that I'm now, technically, according to Nintendo, I am now in the same room as whoever also put in the North-LAN play server that we copied and pasted. That is all that matters.
So now we're going to go into Pokemon Sword or Shield. Kelly and I both have Sword, and we both have this beautiful background I gave Kelly. And we're going to go to the VS network. If you don't know how to get to this, it's quite literally in your bag settings. You just hit the X button, you click on the VS icon. It's pretty simple. And from here, you're going to go to the live competition. Now, this is where the two videos that Kelly and I are doing are separate. If you're watching this video on my channel, it is because you are learning how to host a live competition. You are watching Kelly's video, you are learning how to join a live competition. The steps are pretty similar, but there is a small extra step on the host side, which I'm going to show. So we'll start off with the host stuff. You go to host competition, create competition regulations. Competition name, it could be whatever you want. I always name my number 1 and hit plus. It's the quickest thing to do. Then I hit B for don't add. You don't need to add a subline. You could do it if you want, doesn't matter. Rules. If you're doing this for any league such as GDL, APA, etc., these are the 2 leagues that I know are using it right now that don't already everyone knowing how to do it. If you are using this for some league down the line, whether it's Austin looking at this for PCL, some random new Wi-Fi league, whatever, you're probably using the 1 to 6 mons level 50. You might have different rules. That's up to you guys. 1 to 6 level 50 is most cases what you're using. The time limit, 10-minute your time, total time, no limitations. We've not tested no limitations, total time level 30 minutes. I personally think chess timer works better anyway, but to each their own. Number of battles, doesn't matter. I just do max 25. It's worked for me. I don't think it matters though.
Real quick, can I touch on what the actual timer difference is?
Yes.
So the difference between the 10-minute your time and the 30-minute total time. The 10-minute your time is a chess timer that does not include battle animations. So if you're going through your league and you are, say, for instance, Dynamaxing, every single time that you Dynamax and go for a max attack, your timer is still ticking down. Whereas with the your time, the chess timer, the second that you click your move, it stops. So the battle animations are not included. So if you are in a position to where you're toxic stalling your opponent, for instance, and you're spamming recover for 16 turns, you can click AA for battle or fight or whatever the command is, and then recover, and you can have a move clicked in 2 seconds and lose practically no time. Whereas on the regular timer, it would also count animations. That is the main difference here and why we think that the chess timer is better.
Yes. There's also, of course, the advantage to if you make your moves faster, you will be rewarded because whoever's timer drops first loses in this format. So even if you're, let's say, down 2-4, but your opponent's timer, who has the 4 mons, drops first, they will lose with this timer. So that is something to keep in mind. If you're not a fan of that, by all means, use the normal timer. But that is just something I wanted to quickly cover because that may influence people's decisions. Once you've created your rule set, you're going to go back to host live competition, check current competition regulations, and you're going to press A on the competition name. You're going to hit the send button. Now, for the join end, Kelly, if you want to cover that real quick.
Yep. Okay, so if you are going to join, as you can see, I have participate in a live competition. What you're going to do is you're going to click A, and then you're going... Oh, I'm still in a... Yeah, I'm still in another...
Yeah, if you're in a competition, you have to quit it when you go to participate. This goes for both ends, whether you're hosting or joining. So just make sure you keep that in mind.
Yep. So as you can see, I'm going to go to participate in a live competition. Now, this is where I'm going to turn on my face cam real quick so you guys can see what I'm doing.
I am going to do the same because that's actually a good idea.
What you're going to want to do is you're going to want to take, this is a GameCube controller, you're going to want to take L, R, and the left joystick. Okay, you're going to want to press them and hold them in. Do not let them go. Do not press anything. Hold them in. Because as you're going to see, on the Elgato side, when I press L, R, and hold it in for a couple seconds, it's going to switch over to get via LAN mode. Once you hold it in and you see get via LAN mode, that is whenever you can click it and you will begin to receive it. This goes for both sides. You have to press and hold them in until you visually see the command change on your Switch.
Yes. For anyone who saw the really lazy editing switching team builder layout, I did the LR and pulled down for what that looks like in game. It changes it from the LAN and then it changes it back. You can also do this to change back to local communications. I don't know why you would, but then if you hold it for a few seconds, I usually recommend 3 to 5. You'll see it changes to using LAN communication. Pretty simple step. Now onto the next step. Once both players have, on my end, send to others using LAN communications, and Kelly, it's receive using LAN communications, you're going to press A. And it's going to bring you to a screen where you're going to be loading for a few seconds. And on the host end, after a few moments, it should give the option to send to others again. It takes usually about 20 to 30 seconds from my experience, sometimes a bit longer. Kelly, did you press A, by the way?
Yeah, I sure did.
Okay, just want to make sure.
Yep, I'm receiving it via LAN mode. Once you hit A, if you click A without hitting LAN mode, you're not going to see LAN mode on either end. So make sure you do that.
Yes. So as you can see on my screen, it now has an option to send to others. When I press A, which I just did, it's now sending to Kelly. Rules have been sent. Kelly's screen will get this momentarily. So if you're watching on Kelly's side, you'll see it pop up momentarily.
The second that I receive it from Aaron's side, it says digital player ID. You have received a digital player ID. So I'm going to hit A, and then my game is being saved. And what I like to register a battle team to participate in the competition. This is a very important step. You have to have this in a battle team. You cannot have the Pokemon in your party. So make sure you have it set up as the battle team, whichever one. It can be any of the 6 that you can possibly register. Just make sure you have it registered to one of them.
Yes. And while Kelly registers his team, if you were the host end, you're going to go to participate in a live competition, participate in your own competition, and you're going to participate in the competition you're hosting. It's going to save, and you're going to register a team as well. So you're going to go, and if you, let's say you don't want to use one of your current teams, you could press the X button, and you can pick mons from your PC, not from your party, from your PC. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to choose a bunch of mons that I have custom shinies for, because why not? So as we can see, we're going through, and I am registering my team with all mons that I happen to have in my box. These are all mons that were not in a team beforehand. These are all mons I just happen to have. So we are registering them all, and then once we do that, as you guys will see, we're going to be able to still confirm this team because it is still a team that we had. So, as you can see, it's now loaded in Team 1 because it's a slot I added it in. It's Charizard, Sirfetch'd, Reuniclus, Dragapult, Rapidash, and Copperajah. So you press A, and you can lock the battle team. You cannot change anything about this team. Items, EVs, nothing once that is locked. So, Kelly, are you ready to continue?
Yep, I sure am. Basically, on my end, I did the exact same thing where it said that you can lock in the team, and then it's just asking you basically a bunch of questions that you can just hit A through, and then once you're done doing that, it'll bring you right to this screen that I'm on now that says Battle in LAN mode.
Yes, so if your screen does not say Battle in LAN mode, like mine does, Battle, you're going to do the LR down thing again that we showed you earlier in the video, and it will switch it to Battle in LAN mode. It's going to be on the screen where it says in a black bar, the name of the competition, the blue bar is a subtitle, live date is the date that the competition is registered for. It's going to say your names, results, number of battles, wins, losses, etc. That's where you do the LR down thing. From here, when both players have it set to Battle in LAN mode, you're going to press A, and one player, it doesn't matter who, is going to do the numbers 151, the other player is going to do the numbers 152. So Kelly, which numbers are you going
I'll
to
do 151.
Okay, so then I'm going to do 152.
Real quick, I'm going to...
I want to make you hard ones.
I'm just going to explain what this is. So this, imagine that you're in a VGC tournament. This 151, it's imagining that you're basically at a table at a VGC tournament and you're table 15. And the last number, the third number, is player 1 and player 2. That is all this is. It's not like some secret code. It's just in order for LAN mode, it's how they organize to put you at the same table to be against your opponent.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. It's essentially, like, quite literally just registering your matched ID for a VGC event. That's the easiest way to put it. But yeah, in general though, 151, 152, it's the easiest one to remember. I'm sure you could do it for like 141, 142. I haven't tried it yet. I've just done 151, 152 every time, and it has worked.
Same.
So once both players have pressed A, it'll take a few moments, sometimes anywhere between 30 seconds to a minute. And once the press A to start signaling button happens, if you are doing an intro to a team builder, you can wait on the screen. I don't know for how long, to be fair, but if you are doing an intro to a video, do your intro here. The second that both players press A, it will take a few moments, and then it will bring you directly to the team preview screen. So as you can see, communicating, please wait a moment, and any second now is going to bring us to team preview. And once we get to team preview, as you can see, quite literally, that's the next screen. So I'm going to register Pokemon, and then I'm going to kick Kelly's ass real quick with just Gigantamaxing. in front of everyone and then ban. But quite literally, guys, that's that. Of course, I'm going to show me quickly killing Kelly with Gigantamax Charizard because I threw it in the thumbnail for a reason, guys. I didn't just pick 2 random Pokemon that I knew would get. I threw it in the thumbnail because I knew I would kick Kelly's ass with it.
So while we're doing this, I kind of want to cover a couple other things. One of my biggest fears with this was the possibility of having a Switch banned. This is not a worry anymore. And the reason being is we are never going online. We are never connecting to the internet, to Nintendo servers at all. We are literally only using LAN mode. So because of that, your Switch, I'm going to say it will not get banned. It is. Yeah,
they couldn't ban you for this.
Yeah.
Because it is in no way connected to Nintendo. That's why I'm using all my texture mods. That's why I'm using my hack Switch. As you can see, the pretty black and blue Charizard gigantic form and my blue button down that for some reason Nintendo didn't include.
Yep.
Pretty simple, but that's it. You can't get banned for this.
Yep.
If I was connected to the actual internet, that's a different story. But I cannot get banned for this specifically.
Correct. One other thing that I did want to touch on, this also does open up a bunch of possibilities for doing stuff with hacked Switches if you have a hacked Switch. As you can see, I have custom color Pokemon, Aaron has custom color Pokemon. It is what's allowing us to pretty much do anything on an actual Wi-Fi league. This can open up for Ubers, it can open up for Hackmons, it can do a bunch of really awesome stuff that this method can do for you. So I really think that this is one of the best methods for draft leagues right now.
I 100% agree. Of course, this also means the draft league commissioners need to be a little bit wary along with their players to make sure that their players aren't using Hackmons, but that's to league commissioners to handle. Something I do also want to touch on real quick. If you see your time for me is currently clocking down, starting at 9:52 and it's still going. Kelly has a black box right underneath his It's Lapras tag, and it says 9:43. That is where Kelly ended his last turn at. So you can even see where your opponent ended their last turn at, which is great if you're trying to make sure that you have more time than your opponent, because that is the most important thing about this current feature, is making sure that you have more time.
Yep. This is a really nice way to do it, and I think that for a lot of draft leagues, it'll make a lot more potential for Wi-Fi draft leagues.
Yes, this opens up the gates a lot more easier than even for Hackmons leagues if they wanted to do on Wi-Fi. Because in Gen 7, that wasn't necessarily possible unless you were doing a Citra league. Whereas for this, you could 100% do that. You could 100% do a Hackmons league should you choose to. So,
by the way,
that is something
we live in.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's a neutral hit.
I know, but still, it just makes me happy.
Yeah. Yeah, so as you guys can see, though, the timer clearly does work. We've mentioned everything related to it. So if you guys did enjoy this video, leave a like down below. Kelly and I are going to have a Hackmons battle up on Tuesday on both of our channels. So make sure to check that out, of course. It'll be a really fun game regardless. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe to both Kelly and myself. And yeah, make sure to keep this tutorial very handy, because I prefer not to have any questions that I can simply answer by copying and pasting the link to either of our sides and answering them that easily.
Yep.
So keep the link handy for you guys.
Yeah, this is a really easy method to set up. Real quick, before we end it, do you want to touch on how to go back to the internet just so we cover all of our bases?
We already covered that. It was just switching back to manual. From manual to automatic.
Okay, so we don't need to show it, but also...
Yeah, I actually showed it on my screen earlier.
One other thing that we do have to say, you cannot close the LAN play win 64 or the admin command prompt. If you close those during your battle, the game will end. So
yes,
make
I'll
sure...
show that right now to end off the video, actually. So we close that out, and any moment now, the communication is going to drop. So probably whenever Kelly clicks a move, the communication will
I've already clicked a move. And see, as you can tell, because Aaron's clicked a move, there's a communication error. Do not close out of LAN play win 64 or admin command prompt. Do not do it.
Oh, you can close out of admin. You just can't close out of LAN play. You only need it open the first time.
Really, I got a discommunication whenever I closed admin one time.
Oh, well, then maybe I guess I've never had it open. Definitely do not close out of LAN play, though. If you close out of LAN play, I promise you will get the error.
Yep. Okay. I think that is the last thing.
That should quite literally be everything. Sorry this video was long. I don't know. It was pretty extensive at least, so make sure that if you guys have any questions, comment them down below. We'll answer relatively soon. Till then, see you guys later. Peace out, guys.
Bye.